Yeah, did you get it? Did you get it? Hmm? There was just a red-tailed hawk way up there circling. It was pretty rad. I don't know where he went though. And then I was calling for my dog and realized there's an echo in this canyon. Check this out. Hello! It's pretty rad. Well, hey you. What are you doing? What are you doing? You good girl. Okay, so today I would like to make a video speaking on Isis and Osiris, the archetypes of Isis and Osiris, and how this relates into the dynamics of the relation between the masculine and feminine today in society. And I titled this video Osiris Rising because these energies are returning for the divine masculine to stand strong. And so I had an experience years ago, and this is on the medicine, and I'm in ceremony, and I'm deep, okay, and like all these psychic surgeries are happening, like my body's moving around, I'm getting surgeries, all these beings are working on me, all this stuff is going on, and there seems to be like an Egyptian theme to it. Like I'm seeing temples and pillars and hieroglyphics and all these beings with an Egyptian-esque energy about them. And then at a certain point, the Arcturians came in and showed up and started working on me. And then the Elohim Light Council showed up. And it was just this beautiful energy. And it was just getting blessed up. And it was amazing. And like so many different things are happening. I'm thinking like, well, this can't get any more intense. Like this is the like I'm in it, you know, I'm having surgeries. I'm just like, wow, this is a beautiful experience. And then all of a sudden this being walks in, this huge golden being, like so massive I can only see the bottom half of his body. And he walks in, and there was an instant recognition. I was like, oh, this is Osiris. And like I hadn't researched who Osiris was prior to this, and you know, and I started doing the research afterwards. And so this is also a form of validation, right? And so basically the energy coming off of him was was beautiful. He is a representation of the divine masculine when everything's in perfect balance, in the past, like before the fall. And it was beautiful. And he showed me his death. He showed me how they killed him. And then I saw it all happen, and how his body was dismembered, and how they spread it around the planet, and how Isis, which was his divine counterpart, how she had to go collect all the pieces, and the only piece that couldn't be found was the phallus. And I'll get into that in a minute, about the obelisks and why they build these obelisks and erect them in places like Washington, D.C., and so on, and also in parts of ancient Egypt. It's basically rubbing it in people's face, like, aha, we killed him, and we're going to erect these obelisks just to rub it in your face, you know. And this also can be seen with the whole one eye thing that the Illuminati does, right? And if you see the pictures of all these actors and all these people who've sold out to the dark brotherhoods for fame and money and power, they all have to go through these rites of initiation and take these pictures where they have one eye covered, and so on and so on. And this is also rubbing it in people's faces because they took Horus's eye, right? And so it's just a replay of the past, and the symbolism of it happening in today's society. And so I saw his death. He showed me his death, and I saw this beautiful golden energy fading, and I was like, no, no. And then he showed me about the fall and how they rewrote things and changed it all up, and how it went from the original Emerald Covenant to the Emerald Tablets, which is like a watered down version of it. And that's a whole nother story about the fall of Thoth that I won't get into in this video. But basically, you know, and then there's Isis, and she's a representation of the divine feminine before the fall. Okay, and she also, we have her genetics in us, because these beings come from Lyra. And if you look at the book of Genesis, Isis, the generation of Isis, like, she took these genetics into her womb to create humans, basically, which are a hybridization of these Lyran genetics mixed with a being that was evolving here on its own. And so we're a hybrid species. And then the fall happened after that, and that's when things got downgraded in genetics too. So there's been upgrades and there's been downgrades. And a lot of people want to paint this picture like it's all bad, like, oh, it's all the Anunnaki. Well, which ones are you talking about? Because this is a blanket term that talks about, it just means those who came from heaven to earth. So it just means star being, basically. And there's good and there's bad ones. And so after the fall, things changed, you know, and then you see the Babylonian empires start to take form, right? And all those reversals. And then it basically transformed into the Abrahamic religions, where they tried to erase the divine feminine from existence and make it completely patriarchal and distorted, to where it's not the divine masculine. It's a distortion, right? And it's out of alignment. Because they know that the divine feminine holds power, and that's why she's rising too as well in this current age. But she's been oppressed for so long, and they know this. They're trying to be 10 steps ahead of everyone, to where they oppress women, right? And then the pendulum swings in the other direction, to where they want to then there's this push for this neo-feminism, which is a psyop, you know, that's completely out of alignment. You know, it's the dark goddess, right? And so they're literally playing people, both men and women, for the pendulum to swing each way, and they're 10 steps ahead of everyone, when really it has to come back into balance, right? And so you can see the dark goddess theme playing out in society with this push for neo-feminism where men are disregarded, and they want to be worshipped and have you basically worship at their feet, and so on and so on. This is a distortion, and this is the dark feminine, and it's been constructed to where society accepts this as okay, right? And then when it comes to men, they're saying that there's toxic masculinity, okay? And men are supposed to be masculine. They're supposed to be strong. They're supposed to be leading. They're supposed to forge the way. We're the fucking golden spear tip forging forward is what we are, okay? But it can be toxic when it's out of alignment, right? When it's not in balance, both sides can be. So it's about everything coming back into balance. And there is obviously an attack on masculinity, because there's this push to masculinize women and to feminize men. And there's all these emasculated ass dudes out there, especially in the spiritual community. It's like, it's fucking repulsive, man. And this isn't a judgment. This is an observation, because I see what alignment is and I see what reversals are. Okay, and they want everything reversed. The dark side wants to invert everything that's sacred. Okay? And so men and women are both equally divine, but we're also different. Men have a role, women have a role. And when that gets distorted, everything's fucked up, and we lose connection to our ancient templating. That's why you see this inversion in society where, like, this whole woke movement where people don't even know what fucking gender they are, dude. They're completely cut off from their genetic templating and all this ancient knowledge. They want people lost, okay? And this is an introduction into transhumanism, where they use computer AI shit and get, chips in people. This is just, they need people so cut off from source that they will agree to have AI put in them. And that is the beginning of a whole new level of enslavement and loss of organic consciousness. And it's the Metatronic reversals, and it's the infection, and it wants to take over organic consciousness. And then about the dark goddess, you see in the past in Babylon and all these reversals, they used to have the temple priestess, and a rite of initiation was for her to be the temple prostitute. Okay, and she would literally fuck all these different dudes, and it was a rite of passage into these reversal dark paths. And you can see this in society today with the rise of the internet whore, of all this OnlyFans stuff going on. Okay, it's the same thing playing out. There's nothing new under the sun. It's just modern. It's the modern temple prostitute. Okay, and the fact that society is condoning this just goes to show how far people already are cut off from their own source and soul stream and intuition. And so we can see the results of this agenda being played out upon humanity, of the reversal of the masculine and feminine roles, and the oppression and the pendulum swinging back and forth. It's all designed to destroy the family unit. And you can see this in the world today, because there's so many divorces, there's so many broken families and dysfunction out there, and that's what they want. Okay? They want people lost and dependent upon a parasitic system of government. They don't want strong men who are going to stand the fuck up and say, no, not on my watch. Try me, motherfucker. It's a good day to die. Let's do this. You know, and so this is Osiris Rising. To stand for what's right, to stand for what's righteous, to stand for divine balance. And these energies are streaming forth. And so the same thing with Isis. You know, women are starting to see the trick that's been played on humanity, the trick that's been played on them, and the goddess has been targeted and oppressed for a very long time. And there's massive healing happening for both sides. And so we can't continue this dysfunction into the future. We need to see things for what they are. And we need to heal and be there for each other, because they're trying to play us against each other. So it's enough blaming of the opposite sex. Okay? Enough of this shit. This is what they want. So it's time to heal the distortions and come back to divine balance and sovereignty.